work to maintain a fragile ceasefire following deadly border clashes last week. The ceasefire, agreed upon after 5 days of intense fighting that claimed at least 43 lives and displaced over 300,000 people, was brokered with the help of the United States and China. Defence officials from both countries are meeting ahead of a key discussion which will be observed by representatives from the U.S, China and Malaysia. Despite ongoing talks, significant scepticism does remain. Cambodia has accused Thailand of violating the ceasefire by using excavators and laying barbed wire in contested border areas, while Thailand denies any significant movements but acknowledges Cambodian troop reinforcements. Cambodia has also demanded the release of 18 captured soldiers, with Thailand stating they will be freed after a complete end to hostilities. While joining us to discuss this fragile truce but also ongoing discussions amid uncertainty over whether this ceasefire will hold, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, a journalist at the Korea Herald, who's joining us live from Seoul in South Korea. Dr. Kumar, it's always a pleasure to have you on the programme. We detailed there some of the claims that have been made after this ceasefire. Key discussions now taking place and underway with Malaysian officials. How close is this to spilling over into another conflict, in your opinion?
It is not spilling over right now because discussions are ongoing, and although the ceasefire is right now fragile, but diplomatic commitment has to be ensured, and that is why these preliminary talks are very important. This is very important right now because this whole ASEAN region looks very disturbed, despite the fact that U.S. has intervened, and ASEAN leadership under Malaysia is continuously trying to negotiate and guiding in right direction. But China is also, on the other hand, looking after it. So this trilateral dialogue between Thailand, Cambodia and Malaysia is important than ever right now, because diplomatic commitment has to be ensured in the ASEAN region. And in October, the APEC summit is going to happen in Korea. And before that, President Trump has talked with Prime Minister Anwar of Malaysia just a few days ago to have a ASEAN plus 3 format meeting ahead of the APEC summit. So those diplomatic channels are going to be activated, and the entire world would be looking towards ASEAN region in coming weeks. So that is why it becomes more important for the entire region to send a very positive signal. And for that positive signal, and for that ASEAN centrality for sustainability has to be started with this peace talks in place as a foundation.
Yes, Dr. Kumar, you've mentioned there the significance for the region, but I'm also conscious of China and the US being involved in this de-escalation, in this ceasefire, and in further discussions that are set to take place. Why are these two powerhouses so interested in resolving a conflict between Thailand and Cambodia?
These two giant powers have their own interest, because they don't want to give other any leverage. Like if US has initiated that, they don't want China to take any credit for this de-escalation. And from ASEAN perspective, they also don't want this bilateral issue to go beyond ASEAN. So this is where the key problem lies. So, but good news is that ASEAN leadership is really looks committed not to play in the hands of giant players, and they don't want to give any leverage to US or China so far. And that is why it becomes very important to activate the bilateral channels. It is activated, but there are some underlying issues like earlier in other programs also we had been discussing about Ottawa Convention and the Cambodian version of dissatisfactions. So these issues have to be completely resolved to have a long-lasting peace in the ASEAN region.
Yes, and Dr. Kumar, of course, these tensions between Thailand and Cambodia surrounding this disputed border region have been going on for years and years. Do you think this really could be a turning point in relations between the two countries, looking towards potential peace in the longer term?
If they can resolve this conflict through peaceful talks, as well as if they can solve the displaced people problem, because more than 200,000 people have been displaced because of this conflict, and no country wants to be uh, to be going through this kind of refugee crisis. So this is so far have not turned into a refugee crisis or something like that, because in ASEAN, people are prosperous. They want to be more prosperous. It is resourceful region, so these resources should be utilized to have a peace. And unless we do not have a stable ASEAN, it cannot be prosperous. So for the prosperity of ASEAN and including Thailand and Cambodia, this conflict has to be resolved in a peaceful manner, and no further escalation should be anticipated in current circumstances. But once again, I am reiterating that this displacement issue is the biggest one, and the mining issue, that that both countries, they accuse each other, but this has to be resolved through agreement, I guess, and that agreement should be respected by both the parties as well as the ASEAN.
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Sanjay Kumar.